Hello buddy and welcome to part 8 of What If Midoriya Had the Omnitrix. This one picks up right where the last one left off, with Midoriya going to space. Ace. Just being weird here, having a bit of fun. That said, please hit that like button, subscribe, check my Discord, and watch more videos. And one more thing, enjoy this one after that intro. After the hero killer stain was taken to justice, the villains, the community of Shadow, started moving around, as many, inspired by Stain's message and ideals, decided to join the League of Villains. Affected by the sudden influx in membership and annoyed that they only joined him because of Stain, Shigaraki went out to think about the situation. He ended up sitting on some random bench and having a talk with a random hoodlum. The conversation was enlightening for him, so he changed his plans, assembling and setting a team to attack UA High without him. The League's silent partner joined them in order to accomplish his own goals. The League executed their attack, and although they lost both Mustard and Moonfish in the process, they dealt a big blow to the heroes, even capturing 2 students, Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya. Right after the events of the training camp, Vilgax used his shuttle to go up to his main ship. "What? Where am I?" asked Muscular, waking up. "Such a feeble question from a limited being such as yourself. You're aboard my ship. It seemed like a waste to let one of my allies' pawns go to waste, so I decided to rescue you," states Vilgax. "Pawn? Who are you calling a pawn?" asks Muscular while charging at Vilgax. Vilgax catches Muscular's fist and punches him down. "Don't forget your place, filth," states Vilgax, standing over Muscular. "You may be threatening to the little ants in the planet you came from, but to me you're the ant." They arrive on Vilgax's main ship. Once they do, Vilgax hands Midoriya to one of his drone servants and says, "Put him in a stasis pod and prepare the extraction procedure. Prepare anything that may be needed to extract the device. After, we'll dump the body back on his pitiful planet so the plumbers can't track us." "Right away, sire," answers the drone, taking his body. "What about me?" asks Muscular. "What about you?" responds Vogax. "When am I going back to the League?" clarifies Muscular. "I'll make the arrangements. You should expect to return once this rotation is over," responds Vilgax while returning to his quarters. Another drone approaches Muscular, leading him to the waiting area. The next day, the staff of UA get together to discuss the best course of action, as many civilians protest outside their doors. At the same time, in a hospital, the police start questioning many of the students, trying to find out as much information on the League as possible. They do manage to find out that Yaoyorozu put a tracer on the Nomu that was there, which helped them out quite a bit. Kirishima, worried about his friends, tries to call people to go help and search. "Hey Uraka," says Kirishima while Uraka is getting bandaged up. "What is it?" she asks. "I wanted to talk to you about Bakugo and Midoriya," he says. "What about them?" asks Uraka while holding onto Izuku's jacket. I wanna go and go after them and bring them home," he blurs out. Uraka looks at him confused, so he clarifies the situation, explaining that he feels guilty for not being able to help his friends, being stuck in the remedial course and all. Knowing that she and Midoriya are friends and needing all the help he can get, he asks her. Uraka says she'll think about it and get back to him. A little while later, having recovered from her injuries, Uraka grasps Izuku's jacket, looking up at the sky, thinking about the conversations she had with Kirishima and what she should do. Aoyama scrolls on by her. Seeing her there, alone, he approaches. "Why, hello, Uraka," says Aoyama. "Oh, hey, Aoyama. If you don't mind, I want to be alone right now. I need some time to think," she says, looking at one point in the sky specifically. For some reason, she's drawn to it. "Are you thinking about Midoriya?" he he asks, prying into her business. Uraka blushes slightly and as her attention turns from the sky to Aoyama. Is it because you like him? He says. Uraka gets flustered and runs away to think the situation over. At the end of the day, Vilgax arranges a shuttle, sending Muscular back to the League as he starts the final preparations to extract the Omnitrix. The group of students try to go out in order to try and get Bakugo back, with Uraka even joining them, but Ida stands in their way, intent on stopping them, pointing out how Midoriya would want them to risk their lives for him. That's not true at all, Ida. Midoriya would go after us because we're his friends. He went after you and Hosu because you needed help. Even if we don't find him and find Bakugo, he'd want us to help. Because that's what heroes should do, argues Uraka. Ida accepts her logic and lets them go. Only if they agree to back off if the situation gets too serious and if they don't fight. He goes along with them. The hero side prepares, with heroes such as Lucky Girl, Lemillion, and All Might preparing to raid the villain's bar. While the raid is being planned in the Plumbers' headquarters, they search for Midoriya and the Omnitrix, trying to get the Omnitrix located working. Which takes a while, as Blukic and Driba are on the job. The raid goes off perfectly at first, with the League being incapacitated, but they manage to escape to the second location thanks to All For One using a quirk of his. Muscular arrives at the scene, but seeing all the heroes there, he decides to lay low. As All Might and Lemillion head to fight All For One and rescue Bakugo, in space, Midoriya is taken out of the stasis pod and onto an operating table. After a couple moments, he wakes up. Last chance, human. Give up the Omnitrix and I might let you live, says Vilgax. Can't! Even if I wanted to, I have no idea how to get it off. You see, we're kind of attached, says Midoriya with a slight smile. You should wipe that arrogance off your face. I just want you to know, I take no pleasure in the events that are about to unfold, says Vilgax. Okay, maybe a little pleasure. He grabs a sword from his collection and prepares to remove Midoriya's arm. However, when the sword gets close, the Omnitrix creates a wave of energy feedback, pushing Vilgax away. It seems that won't work. Then let's try an alternative method, says Vilgax, pulling out a machine. On Earth, the Plumbers' Omnitrix detecting machine detects the energy pulse. Thus, they prepared to head out into space to retrieve Midoriya, even calling back Lucky Girl to help out. While they head out to help, Vilgax prepares a machine, putting it up against Midoriya's restraint. He activates it. Midoriya screams out in pain as the machine does its job, removing the Omnitrix from his wrist and separating it from its user. He then disables the restraints as a weakened Midoriya falls to the ground. Why? Why did you let me go? He asks. I have my prize. I have no need for you now. I intend to send you down to your home and forget all about you. But I do thank you, Izuku Midoriya, for it's thanks to you that, on this day, I have obtained the most powerful device in the universe. Thanks to you, the universe will soon bow to me, says Vilgax. He removes the Omnitrix from its container and tries to put it on, but the Omnitrix is not attaching itself to Vilgax. What is this trickery? He wonders out loud. The drone starts escorting Midoriya to a holding cell, but Vilgax grabs him and asks, Why isn't it working? It's keyed to my DNA. There's no way you'll get it on, explains Midoriya, thinking that the universe is safe now. Fine then. I suppose we'll have to reset the device, says Vilgax, plugging it into his computer and activating the device. Sire, we seem to have a situation, informs the drone. What is it? Asks the tyrant. The plumbers, sir. They are approaching, says the drone. What? Impossible, exclaims Vilgax. We're cloaked. How did they find us? He turns to Midoriya and says, It seems they're here to rescue you. Arm the stations, he orders. And prepare to hyperjump. The plumbers maneuver around the heavy fire that Vilgax's ship is shooting at them. The ship prepares to jump into hyperspace as the plumber ship approach, but it doesn't. What's the meaning of this? Asks Vilgax impatient. The hyperdrive seems to be inoperational, explains the drone. How? We have repaired all the damages from our encounter. Why is their hyperdrive not working? Asks Vilgax angry, slamming his fist against the controls. The drone starts informing Vilgax in more detail about what exactly happened. Outside, Ben pilots one of the ships, getting awfully close to Vilgax's ship. What the hell are you doing? You're flying like a madman, says Kevin. Relax, I know what I'm doing. I'll get us inside, says Ben. Oh, now I'm scared, comments Gwen. Ben flies straight into the ship, crashing into Vilgax's ship, breaking a wall, which gets patched up seconds later, as to not decompress the whole ship. Told you I knew I was doing, says Ben. You crashed the ship, points out Rook. But I got us inside, says Ben. Okay everyone, we have 2 missions. Vilgax has taken Midoriya. He's probably retrieved the Omnitrix by now, so our 2 missions are to get the Omnitrix and retrieve Midoriya. I'll be leading Team 1 with Rook. We'll be going to get the Omnitrix, which should be in the lab. Team 2, led by Gwen and Kevin, has to rescue Midoriya. We're assuming that Vilgax hasn't yet figured out he needs to reset the device, so he shouldn't have access to it yet. Priority is to avoid Vilgax getting his hands on that device, explains Ben. After, 12 plumbers step out of the ship, fanning out through the ship to execute their plans. Sir, there's been a breach on level 4. 12 plumbers have entered the ship, reports a drone. Keep the others from entering the ship and dispatch sentries through the ship. I'll go guard their ship, says Vilgax while getting up. After a while of sitting in the detention level, Midoriya starts hearing blasts going off and small explosions. Moments later, the door to his cell opens. You're lucky, girl, he exclaims, seeing a hero he admires in front of him. A fan, then. Let's get you out of here, Midoriya, she says. Oh, okay, says Midoriya. Midoriya steps out of the cell, getting closer, so Gwen gets a better look at him, spotting small injuries. Let me see that, she says, using her mana to heal Midoriya's injuries, and then they start returning to their ship. As they return to the ship, Midoriya asks why Gwen is there to save him, and she explains her relationship to the plumbers. On the way, they run across Ben's team. Hey Midoriya, nice to see you're alright, says Ben. If I'm not mistaken, it's your birthday soon, right? Confused as to why he'd bring it up, Midoriya nods. Happy birthday, says Ben, handing Midoriya a spherical container. Midoriya opens it, seeing the Omnitrix in it. He grabs the device and applies it to his wrist. Thanks, says Midoriya. Ben smiles. They keep going until they reach the ship. They do encounter a big surprise as Vilgax is there waiting for them. Ah, the little Tennyson. I was expecting your grandfather, but I guess killing you is revenge enough, comments Vilgax. Right, like that's gonna happen, comments Midoriya. Are we just talking or are we gonna fight? Asks Kevin as he absorbs the metal from the ship, jumping at Vilgax, trying to cut him. Both Gwen and Ben follow into combat with other plumbers assisting from a distance, so they manage to pin Vilgax down against a wall. Midoriya hits the Omnitrix wanting to transform, but the Omnitrix malfunctions or something. Midoriya looks at the watch confused, seeing that the green plate turned blue. Rook returns and says, the explosive has been set. So, you plan on blowing up the ship. Interesting strategy. You'd blow yourself up just to stop me, asks Vilgax. Would you really be able to make that sacrifice? I would, but I'm not planning to, says Ben. Hey Midoriya, now would be a good time to transform. I'm trying, it's not working, shouts Midoriya worried. Since Midoriya can't, Rook jumps into the battlefield as Gwen steps back. She starts preparing an incantation. Midoriya starts fiddling with the Omnitrix, trying to get it to activate. After a couple of moments, the shape of the device starts shifting, becoming something different. The Omnitrix changes to a more smartwatch style design that expands through most of his wrist and even reaches to occupy the back of his hand and his forearm. The color scheme shifts too, as it went from black, gray, and white color scheme to incorporating many colors such as red, couple types of green and gray. The watch has 2 screens now, one being the main dial and selector, and the second one including extra information and features. Midoriya activates the Omnitrix, a new holographic display with the alien silhouettes popping up. Something very different from what he's used to. He's a bit overwhelmed by the amount of information thrown at him at the moment, but he snapped back to reality. He checks through the transformation options, looking for someone he knows. He finds the whole selection and the new Alien Force listing to be unfamiliar. Before he can transform, Lucky Girl completes her incantation, teleporting the Plumbers on board the ship back to Earth. She falls to the ground with Kevin catching her. "You alright?" he asks. "I will be. Just need to rest," she answers. "What about Vilgax?" asks Midoriya. 3, 2, 1, and, says Ben, an explosion going off in the sky. One that is confused for fireworks by the people around, who are celebrating All Might's victory over All for One, although it came at the cost of him using up the last of his power. Midoriya is taken to the Plumbers agency for debriefing, later going to the police, where he meets Bakugo, who was taken there by Lemillion during the fight. Lemillion also tried to apprehend one of the League's members, but failed as they teleported away. After going through a process, both Midoriya and Bakugo had returned home, safe and sound. They're told to stay home for the next couple days. After the events unfold, in a planet light years away, in a place called Galvan Prime, the first thinker works, continuing his experiments in order to better the universe. "What's the meaning of this?" Albedo demands to know, entering the laboratory. Azimuth sighs and turns to his assistant. "What is it now?" he asks. "You gave the Omnitrix to an Earthian child? A child? Why? I thought we were going to deliver it to the Plumbers," exclaims the assistant. Azimuth turns back to his experiment and explains. "The Omnitrix was key to Hisashi Midoriya's DNA, a great plumber. It was unfortunate that the boy got his hands on it first. Then why not remove the Omnitrix from his hands? You can't just allow the most powerful weapon in the universe to be in the hands of a child," exclaims Albedo, angry that something he helped build is with the wrong being. "The Omnitrix is not a weapon. It's an incredible device meant to allow for more peaceful coexistence and to bring species back from extinction, if need be," explains Azimuth, still focusing on his experiment. "Then why not create more? Give it to many people so peace can be achieved," asks the assistant. "There must only be one Omnitrix. If there were to be more, the results would be catastrophic. The Omnitrix is safe in the child's hands, at least for now," says Azimuth. Albedo tries to refute the point, but Azimuth interrupts him, saying, "I am the first thinker, the smartest mind in 3, possibly 5 galaxies. I know what I'm doing." Not satisfied with the results, Albedo leaves the room, downloading some blueprints on the way out, intent on making his own version of the device. And that's the end of the video, with the end of the old Omnitrix and a new recalibration. Someone once said that I should make my own version of the Omnitrix for this, and I already had that idea before they said that, because the recalibration wouldn't be the same, but I still wanted to give the original Alien Force listing, because in their recalibration, the Omnitrix recalibrates to fit the user better, and the original was just how the original shape was meant to be. I also thought that the Omnitrix being able to go on anyone when it was originally meant only for Grandpa Max was kind of stupid, so that's why Vilgax can't put it on and leads him to reset the device so it recalibrates to the user. That was a good idea. This will also delete a lot of progress now because Midoriya has learned so much about so many different aliens and now has to get used to so many new ones. And yeah. Still, interesting how this will go, because Now I have to draw more aliens. I hope you enjoy the little pictures. It's always fun. That said, I still have a lot ahead of me to do for these videos. Hope you guys are enjoying the channel and can always leave a like, subscribe, check my Discord and all that stuff. Still want to get to 10K before 2020 ends. So that's my one objective for now. And yeah, enjoy everything else on my channel. You can always check more stuff. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye!